And now I want to introduce Sheriff Pitts and ask him to come up and talk a little bit about our next inductee, a predecessor of his, Sheriff Jess Harris, who used aviation in a way that was new and different, and I think is probably much more taken for granted today.
Yes.
So, thank you.
When I first got the call to come here and was asked to come here, I started asking around, and we have a former sheriff named Neil Harris, which is no relation to Jess Harris, but he has done some history on Jess Harris, and he was, I sat down and had coffee with him. He was telling some stories. Some stories we can't repeat because, but other stories we can. Other stories we can. From what Neil was telling me, the research he did, Jess Harris flew all over our county. I mean, he would literally handle calls out of his airplane. So when he'd get a phone call, he would fly up to Midas, Tuscarora, to all these places, land on the road, and then go handle the calls. One time Neil said that he was talking and was told about a fight in Jiggs, Nevada, I believe it was, and Jess flew up there. These guys, I guess, knocked down, drag out, brawl, and the guy was drunk and passed out, and Jess went, he knew everybody in the county, and went over there and said, "Come on, Joe, get in the plane, we're going to jail." And Joe just walked up, got in the plane, and he flew into jail. You know? Other time, Neil was saying that he flew up to, I believe it was Midas, landed there, and he had, I want to say, John Carpenter with him, and they were on a dog call. It was dog calls back then, and he was had a report of this dog killing cattle. So he went out to this ranch, landed on the road, walked up, knocked on the door. Guy answered the door and said, you know, hello, and he said, "I'm Jess Harris." He says, "Is that your dog?" And the dog was right next to him, and he said, "Yes, it is." And he went, bam!
Oh my God.
Said, "Your dog's been killing cows." So, that's what John Parker was telling me. Like I say, he told me about that. And that's law enforcement back then, though. They handled situations. They went in and they handled it. Honoring former Elko County Sheriff Jesse C. Jess Harris on this occasion and his induction to the Nevada Aerospace Hall of Fame. Whereas Jess Harris was 17 when he began working at Ed Rickenbacker's field in Elko, Nevada as a mechanic on the airline Pioneers, who taught Jess how to fly. Whereas he left Elko for a while, but upon return ran for sheriff. Lost his election, but was named under sheriff. And then won the election, the next election as sheriff. And whereas Jess Harris served as Elko County Sheriff from 1951 to 1974, and whereas with his flight experience and innovation, he became known as the Flying Sheriff. A necessity to reach some of the citizens in the third largest county in the United States at the time. Whereas flying got him to scenes faster, saved money and resources for the taxpayers, and provided stories and adventures that still are regaled today. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Elko County Board of Commissioners honor and recognize Sheriff Jess Harris for his innovation, their induction into the Nevada Aerospace Hall of Fame. So we'd like to present that to you. Like I say, they just did this today before I left, so we'd like to present that to you and your family for that. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
And we do have Jess's picture on our wall in our office, and this will go right underneath it.
Well, it was his office.
Great.
Well, this is a new jail.
It's a new jail. Yeah. Yes.
My
Thank you.
grandmother
This is
donated a
exciting.
lot of the Northeast
Yes,
Nevada
thank you.
Museum, so if anybody gets up there, it's all cool.
It's very, very, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're very honored to be
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you. And we do have a video for Jess as well.
Okay.
So we need to show that.
to let me shine. That's your way. You always walk a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. Of course I know I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I could fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, night I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly away. You let me fly so high. You, the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly so high against the sky, so high I almost touch the sky. Thank you, thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings. It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine.